Hi, I'm Kaylin.
And I'm Brooklyn, and this is Death Row Dialogue.
I
like that you joined me. You did good. I feel like sometimes you don't get it. You just don't get it.
I really had to focus.
Okay, so we have to first off apologize for not posting last week. Right? It was last week.
Mm-hmm.
We did try. I just want that to be known. We try every week. Sometimes things just happen, or there's not good days. Again, she's a mom and has a family.
Okay, let's be real. Let's cut to the chase. What happened was I came over here and we yapped for 2 hours and we didn't have time.
That is what happened, isn't it?
You're like,
she did
you're like,
come
things
over.
happen, and I'm like, no. I came over and we talked.
Okay, yeah. So, guys, if you don't know, if you can't tell by now, we are a bunch of yappers. And, yeah. So,
what inmate, do you know what inmate number you have?
I should have 63.
Okay.
And then you have 61 and 62.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure I had the order right. It's crazy because I feel like we've been having a lot of doubles lately.
Yeah, it is weird.
Like a lot of where it's one crime, but 2 people are executed for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what mine is. This one, honestly, kind of loca. Just, there's no information about it, which I don't want to become a broken record, but there's no information about it. But it's not like it's just a robbery or anything. Like it's weird. So this was 2 brothers. So what order is it? I think okay, Danny is inmate 61 and Curtis is inmate 62. So it's Danny Ray Harris and Curtis Paul Harris. So Curtis was an African-American man born on August 31st of 1961 in Brazos County. He was 5'5" and weighed 144 pounds. He was listed as having maroon eyes. Yeah, I don't know why they...
What?
I've seen that a few times through these, that they put maroon eyes.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Brown?
Yeah, as I'd say, maroon is like a reddish color.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just stood right in really good lighting.
Okay.
He...
evil.
Okay,
sorry. I don't know.
mean, not wrong, but probably not in the way you were thinking. He had 8 years of education before becoming a laborer. He had no prior prison record. Now, his brother Danny was also an African-American man born on July 31st. So they were born a month apart, a year apart. So Danny is 1 year and 1 month older than Curtis. He was also born in Brazos County. He was 5'10" and weighed 156 pounds. He had 9 years of education before becoming a laborer, and he also had no prior prison record. There were reports of extreme physical abuse in the household, but nothing was ever proven, or there was no, like, specific statements like, oh, yeah, we were beat by our mom, or our mom did this. Like, there were no, like, concrete stories, you know? They were just like, yeah, we were beat, you know? So, the crime was on the night of December 11th in 1978. Curtis was 17 and Danny was 18, and then they had a friend, James Manuel, with them. And then they also had Curtis's girlfriend, who was Valerie Rencher, who was 16. So they were driving in the car, and I believe they were driving Danny's car. So they were driving in the car to visit a friend in Bryan. When they got to the friend's house, she wasn't home. But when they, like, I think they all got out to, like, go knock on her door or something, and she didn't answer. So they went back to the car, and the car wouldn't start. Like, it just wouldn't turn over, you know, the battery was dead. And so they did the only logical thing possible. The 3 men started to beat up the car and tear up the interior.
What the freak? Okay, this sounds messed up, but I'm really happy you said the car because I was really scared. I thought, like, you were going to say her.
No.
And I was like, okay.
No, but that's so weird. And it's your car.
Well, it's kind of like, remember whenever your TV doesn't work, sometimes you just go there and smack it. You remember, like, back in the day, especially whenever you used to have the box connected to it?
I wasn't really old enough for that.
Okay. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, it's like that.
But back in the day, we did not have flat screen TVs.
I'm like, yeah, are you beating your flat screen TV? You're like patting it on the back like a baby, burping it.
No.
Okay, They tried to find a neighbor to help with the car. They like went up to the neighbor, and the neighbor was like, "Oh, I would help you, but I don't have any jumper cables." So they began to flag down somebody that was driving. Tim Murka saw the group and stopped to help. Tim Murka was a 27-year-old employee of Texas A&M. He attempted for 20 to 25 minutes to jump the car. Like, this man's committed to jumping the car.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you're a stranger just helping somebody, like, you're going to try a few times and be like, I did my duty. I tried. No, he sat there for 20 to 25 minutes trying to figure out why the car wasn't working.
Yeah, I'm not a nice neighbor.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, we're done after probably the first or second time.
Brooklyn, there was a guy that asked you if you had jumper cables, and you just said through the ring, no.
Well, to be fair, though, I didn't have jumper... Like, I would use my car, but if there's no jumper cables, like, what am I supposed to do? Go out there and... You know?
He said, my arms will work.
Just hold them.
All right, you get that one. I'll get this one. So, let's see. Yeah, he tried to jump the car for 20 to 25 minutes. The men got mad that the car was not getting fixed, and the three men, James, Curtis, and Danny, they went to the back of the truck, and Danny told them, we're going to drive this man. Which I don't know the lingo. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing that means beat him up.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
So, Danny pushed Tim down and pinned him to the ground. While Danny sat on Tim's chest, Curtis began to beat him in the head with a car jack. Tim was still awake and asked the men what they wanted, and Valerie was begging them to stop. Valerie then got in the back of the truck, I'm meaning Tim's truck.
Okay.
So she got in the back of Tim's truck, and Curtis just continued to hit Tim in the head at least 6 more times. Tim died of severe injuries to the head and brain and had 15 head wounds, consistent with having been beat by a bumper jack, shaft, and a ratchet.
So the person that stopped to help them...
Yeah.
They just beat him up because he couldn't fix it?
Yeah. Seems that way.
What was their education level?
8th grade and 9th grade.
Okay.
The group left Tim's body in a ditch and left in his truck, which contained a shotgun. They drove back to the Harris home to change clothes before driving to a U-Totem store in Waller and robbed the cashier at gunpoint with the shotgun. Not only did they take the cash from the till, but they also stole the change jar that the store had left out to raise money for the Multiple Psoriasis Society. Yeah. I don't even know what to say to that.
That's so sad.
Like, so you beat up a man who's trying to help you. You go rob... I'm thinking it's like a gas station, you know, or like just like a small grocery store. You go there, rob the cashier, and then you take the bucket that probably only has change. Like, it's probably just change that they're like, oh, here's your, 33 cents, and you just take the 33 cents and you put it in the jar, to raise money for them, and you're just going to take that too. Why? You're going to go to a Coinstar? Like...
Did that even exist back then?
Probably not. You're going to count them and take them to the bank? Like, that's just... I don't know why that just adds an extra level of evil.
Oh, it's definitely evil, but, like, I feel like people that are like that in the beginning, it's like you're expecting too much out of them already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose.
They just beat up a man that literally just stopped specifically to help them and stayed longer than he should have.
Yeah.
To help them. And then they're like, man, he can't figure it out. I guess we'll beat him up too.
I think it's just because they wanted to take his truck.
Yeah, just take his truck. There's 3 of you and one of him. You didn't even have to beat him up. You could have just threatened him.
You could have just gotten the truck.
And he even said, they even admitted.
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah.
So they returned to Bryan around midnight before ditching the truck. Before ditching the truck, they dropped James Manuel off at his house, and he took the shotgun with him. The truck was found at 10 a.m. the next morning, about 4 blocks from the Harris house. They didn't even drop it somewhere far. They're like, let me leave breadcrumbs of who did this.
Again, not smart.
Tim's ATM ID card, gun case, and payment book were found in the woods behind the Harris house the next day. So, after everything happened, the men were primarily convicted due to Valerie's testimony and the Utotem store cashier. So that's how the whole thing was pieced together and how they were convicted.
I'm glad Valerie has some sort of heart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, we have no idea how long she was dating him.
That's true.
Because imagine, like, how many times as you as a teenager, like, you dated somebody that was a little, like, on the wild side, you know? And then, but you don't know how wild. You know, you think they're just, like, a little bad. Like, they smoke cigarettes or something.
Yeah, and let's be real. Girls, especially when we were younger, we like bad boys.
And it's like...
So she probably just didn't know how bad.
I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you're with, like... Have you ever been attracted to somebody and been in a situation and then they do something and you're like... You have this light bulb of like, okay, they're not who I thought they were?
Or you get the ick immediately.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, I have to break up with them right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Because, like... What is she supposed to do at this point? You know, she's watching them beat a man to death. And just crying. And, like, what are you going to do? You have to go... She probably had to go home and sleep in the bed with that guy.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, imagine, because if you're around 3 men that just so willingly did help in that, like, participate in that crime, like, wouldn't you be scared that you're next?
Oh, yeah.
If you're like... Yeah, and you're right. How long were they together? Like, what if they were just dating for, like, 2 or 3 weeks?
That's what I was thinking. Is like, what if they were together for, like, a month? And maybe she even thought, maybe she could have thought this was her whole thing because she wanted to go see one of her friends. You know? And she was like, oh, hey, will y'all take me to my friend's house and Brian, because Danny has a car? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then, like, this whole thing happens. Like, I don't know whose friend it was. But, like, there's just so many layers that, you know, you can't just, like, run away.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing you can really do. So at least that she made sure that she told on them and got the whole story out. She didn't get any jail time. So.
I don't think she should have.
Yeah.
Probably. Hopefully. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't. But also, to be fair, the only thing that we have is her point of view. So we don't really know if she was involved in it more.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, hopefully.
Yeah. So Curtis was tried and convicted to death row, but after an appeal saying the prosecution did not have any restrictions on cross, meaning they had the trial, but the defense attorney was saying, well, the prosecution attorney, like, nobody stopped him from saying anything, like, on when he was cross-examining people, and he just said crazy stuff. So we need to redo it, because y'all didn't limit him at all. So they redid the trial. And he was convicted again to death row. But that seems how it goes. Almost every time that they do a retrial, they're convicted again. So it's like you just put everyone through that process again. James Manuel was sentenced to 25 years in prison for his role in the slaying, but was released in 1989.
What?
And the crime was in 1978. Yeah.
So 12 years?
I mean, yeah, but how long was it before he actually went to jail?
Oh my God.
I mean, like 11 years-ish, yeah. 11, 12. That's crazy. Like, but I don't, because whenever it goes to the description, it does say that that Danny held him down and Curtis beat him in the head. It doesn't say that James really did any of the beating, but he also didn't interfere, and he was a part of the robbery, so he probably just got charged for, like, the robbery stuff. Don't you think?
That's awful.
So so Danny was executed first. His last meal was asking for God's saving grace, love, truth, peace, and freedom.
Okay.
In his final words...
No, sorry.
Well, that was his last meal. That's what he asked for his last meal.
What the freak? Okay, maybe I misheard you then.
Okay, the last meal. So they were like, what last meal do you want? And he said, I'm asking for God's saving grace, love, truth, peace, and freedom. Okay. In his final words... I would like to tell my family I love them very dearly, and I know they love me. I love all of the people who supported me all these years. I would like to tell the Murka family I love them too. I plead with all the teenagers to stop the violence and to accept Jesus Christ and find victory. Today I have victory in Christ, and I thank Jesus for taking my spirit into his precious hands. Thank you, Jesus.
Didn't hear another sorry, though.
He did not say sorry, but he did tell, I'm guessing, I wonder if he's just, because the Merca family, that's Tim's family.
It makes you wonder if they were in cahoots with each other, though, at some point, because I feel like a lot of the time the victims' families will reach out.
Yeah, if they were, like, talking, you know.
Or if they're not okay with death row. There's a lot of, we've come across that a lot, where, like, they'll come and, like, stand up for them and be like, hey, like, I want them to be in prison, but I don't want death row.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. He was executed on July 30th, 1993. Oh, wait, he was executed second. Sorry, he's number 62. My bad. Okay. He was executed on July 30th, 1993. Curtis declined to make a last statement. He was executed on July 1st, 1993. So Danny was executed 29 days after his brother. He was 33, but the next day, he would have been 34. So the next day was his birthday. Which I don't know, like, anyone, I just get really sad when people die on their birthday.
Why?
Even if they're awful. I don't know. It's just sad. Any other day? There's 364 other days. But yeah. So that is inmate number 61 and 62.
That's super sad.
I know.
Well, that was awful. Okay.
Your turn.
Well, mine, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be a broken record too, because I don't have a lot of information on it. And what makes me upset is this was a pretty crazy story.
I don't understand.
It's like, I don't know how it didn't make headlines because of what he's remembered for now. And it's actually very interesting. And I guess it's still on the internet and still on the web. So I'm going to, like, read it and then we go over that. But there was literally, guys, like, any website I went, this was the story. This was it. It was about that long. So, with that being said, please forgive me. I tried to go to multiple websites and kind of get as much information as possible. So that way we have, like, some sort of clue of him. His name was Joseph Jernigan, and he is going to be our 63rd. He's originally from Illinois. He was a white 27-year-old in Navarro, Texas, which is in between Dallas and College Station.
You've learned.
What?
You've learned to look up where they're at.
I've learned to look up because she's always like, where's that? And I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, he did also have a 13-year education, so I guess he did some college.
Mm-hmm. Or do they count kindergarten?
You mean pre-K?
No, kindergarten.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that would be 13 years.
That's lame. Okay, so he just graduated high school. Good for him. I mean, I didn't go past that, so I mean, I'm not hating, but just like, dang, I really
you're like, wow, you really tried to improve yourself with 1 year ago. Yeah! He just went to kindergarten.
I was like, he's better than me. No. Anyways, so on January 31st, sorry, that is not the time that this took place. Anyways, let's just get started. Mr. Joseph and the accomplice Roy Lamb, I did not get the date of, like, when this crime took place.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah, so I didn't write that down. Okay, guys, but just know it's in 81. It's in early November of 21.
Okay.
Early November of 21. I do know that.
Early November of 21.
Of 81. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry, guys. Don't look at me.
Okay. Early November of 1981.
1981.
Okay.
Yes. And just so you know, whenever I was looking at his birthday, he was born in 54, and I could not fathom those being so close. I literally kept going. I was like, is that for real, right? He's 27? Okay, but yeah, he is. So anyways, Mr. Joseph, and he had an accomplice, so it was one of his friends named Roy Lamb. They were in progress of burglarizing Edward Hell, a home of a 75-year-old man. Don't know much about Edward Hell, but Hell did return home. Apparently the two had left immediately, but Jernigan returned. This is how straightforward this crime is. He returned and murdered Hell in fear that Hell would be able to identify him as a thief, because he was nervous because he already had 2 prison records from burglary. So, Jernigan repeatedly hit Hell in the face with an ashtray, attempted to stab him with a kitchen knife. When all that failed, he then grabbed a shotgun and then shot him in the neck and chest area. After shooting, apparently he continued to burglarize the home that he just didn't have enough time to earlier that day.
What?
Yeah, that's how quick this crime went. Yeah.
Okay, so he beats him.
Yeah,
and then tries to stab him.
Yep.
And then shoots him twice.
Well, it just says they shot him, like, in the neck and chest area.
Oh,
so I don't know if it was one shot or if he went boom, boom.
Okay.
But it said in the neck and chest area. So I don't know if it was multiple shots or if it was one. In a shotgun, just so if you... I don't know, because I feel like Texas, we have a lot of guns here. You only need one time with the shot. Like, that's just... If it was more than one time, that's crazy. Even in the chest area, because a shotgun shell is... You're getting your mark.
You're dying.
Yeah. You're getting your mark. Unless you're, like, way far away from the heart, maybe, or something. But I just couldn't... Or this side? I don't know which side my heart's on. This side.
Oh, gosh.
This side's my heart.
Well, like... It's crazy, because I feel like all of these criminals that want to burglarize homes, they pick older people. That was last week's.
Well, because to be fair though, it makes sense because like they're not gonna be able to put up as much of a fight.
You're a coward.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, why would you go for someone that you know could beat you up? You know.
I don't know, but it's just wrong.
Yeah, it makes me kind of scared. It makes me want to go to my grandparents' house and do like some type of surveillance or something. Because I know one of my grandmas, she lives like by herself.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like, did it say what he stole? No. Like how much he stole?
Nope, just says he continued on after he did all that. Imagine being that, like,
and his friend is just gone?
Yeah, Roy's gone. Roy didn't go back to murder him. Mm-hmm. No. Roy just burglarized the home. I want that to be said now.
Okay.
Roy just burglarized the home.
He said, you can call me a thief, but no murderer.
Yeah, he did not go back. It was just him. He was... Because I also didn't see that much on Roy, so I don't know if he had, like, prison records prior or whatever. But yeah, his big thing was he already had 2. Yeah. So, strike 3 at least. Yeah, he didn't want to go. In Texas, I'm pretty sure I don't know if it's for life or if it's a long period of time. I think that's just for DWIs. What? Really? So you could just keep committing crimes?
Well, we've seen that multiple times.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We don't have a very good rep.
But I think that's what
But I think if it's DWIs, the same crime, though. I thought
each time you do the same exact crime, I'm pretty sure, like, your punishment does get worse. But, like, the 3 strike rule from what you're thinking about, I'm pretty sure it's just really DWIs. Like, DWI, your first one, you know, there's different things. But, like, your third one, like, you're going for a long time.
Okay. All right, sorry. She used to work for the PD. I did not.
Okay, that does not mean that. I might not still know things. Okay. So, like, don't take that to the bank.
Okay. And I'm not friends with any felons. So, can't ask anybody.
Yeah, you third DWI, so what'd you get this time?
Can I say something funny before we continue? One day I was watching Cops, this man, he was walking on the street and he had a gun or something like that, and the cops were like, dude, come on, and the guy literally said, like, who doesn't have a felony nowadays? And the cop was literally like, a lot of people don't, like, because he was just like, come on, man, who doesn't have a felony? And the cop was like, a lot of people don't have felonies.
What if the cop was like, hey, sir, you random person walking, you got a felony? He's like, yeah, man, who doesn't?
But I'll never forget it. Made me laugh so hard because the cop's face, even at the camera, was like, because they're like they're supposed to pretend like it's not there. And he was even like,
I want to go watch Cops now.
it was super funny. Anyways, on November 20th, 81, a sheriff arrested Jernigan several days after his wife, Vicky Jernigan, provided the sheriff's department with the information that they needed to arrest him. After his arrest, Jernigan admitted to murdering Hill. Jernigan's accomplice, Roy Lamb, pleaded guilty as an accomplice, oh my goodness, and received a 30-year prison sentence.
For the burglary?
Yeah. But he was paroled sometime in 1991, so he was only in there for 10 years.
He was in there for the same amount of time as James Manuel from My Story.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just because, too, like, they have to hold them to some sort of higher...
No, like, I get it, but, like, they're going... They're just, you're, okay, yes, burglary is definitely wrong. And you're burglarizing a house, but you're burglarizing a house that no one's there. And you get 30 years. But you go into, you watch your friends beat somebody up, and then you go rob a store at gunpoint with a shotgun.
Oh, yeah, and then they end up...
And you get 25 years, but you both stay in for the same amount of time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never put
okay.
That. I think it's just... I think the only reason why he got so long... And we also don't know if this is his first offense, second offense, third offense. We don't know any of that, to be honest. So, it's hard.
That's true.
Okay. And then after several attempts at appeals, Jernigan was executed by lethal injection. August 5th, 93.
Okay.
August 5th of 93.
He was on death row for a long time, like 12 years.
Yeah, he was there for a minute. And it did say that... okay. After his body, basically, they were going to donate his body. And this is kind of sad, because his sister apparently said it's not... Basically, they just wanted to spare the cost of the family for the burial. So, they were too poor to... I guess they basically told him, you should donate your body to science. Or something. And so, that way, they didn't have to pay for it. And then, with that being said, it was donated... And it's also still known today because as the visible human. His corpse had been frozen, sliced into thousands of cross sections, photographed, digitalized, and put on the internet for the world to see. A man who took the life of another is now teaching tool for the entire world, available on the internet, still to this day, as the first 3D cadaver. How do you say it? Cadaver?
Cadaver.
Cadaver? Okay, that's weird. I would have never said that. Okay.
Why were you making it sound French? Cadaver?
I don't know.
No.
I did have Italian the other night.
Now I can't think of how to say it correctly. Cadaver. Okay, so wait, I don't understand. So they donated his body to science.
Yeah.
Science
froze it,
and then cut it up into a million pieces, and then did what? Photographed it? Why?
Not a million pieces, thousands.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, anyways, yeah, but then they basically made cross sections, photographed it, and then digitalized it and put it on the internet.
Cross sections.
I'm not a computer tech. I don't know what that even means.
I just don't understand.
I think they just put it on the line.
They took all the pieces, reconstructed the arm with the pieces, and then took a picture of it and put it online.
I'm assuming that's what it is. I wanted to look it up, but I was too scared to look it up.
Can somebody else look it up? And then tell us, don't send us the picture, but tell us what it looks like.
Yeah, because, also you have to remember, I researched these at work too, and she already called me out earlier today for looking up some weird stuff on the computer in front of our boss. Nothing crazy, but definitely not appropriate.
No, it was kind of crazy.
It was for a different crime, and
was it? That was not for a crime. That was just human curiosity.
Well, I wouldn't have known that. No, but I remember I wanted to look it up because of a crime. It was Jeffrey Dahmer or something.
She looked up what was the tastiest part of a human for a cannibal on the work computer.
Yeah, and then she snitched me out today. She's like, yeah, one time Brooklyn, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there
his mouth dropped open. It was pretty funny. Anyways, awkward. I do have a last meal, though. Okay, wow. I feel like we never hear them.
Yeah, I know. 2 cheeseburgers, French fries, a tossed salad with Thousand Island dressing, and an iced tea. And then refused the last meal.
Refused it?
Yeah. He got it. And then...
Okay, he probably forgot the name of a dressing and then said a Thousand Island because he thought that's what it was, and then realized he got a Thousand Island and that it was disgusting, and he didn't want to eat it.
I think he refused the whole meal. It says refuse last meal. So I think
Did he do less words?
I didn't see any about that. He could... Hold on, guys.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay, while you look it up, so next week is going to be the last week with Brooklyn before she goes to have her little baby. So, we'll be doing Inmate 60. You had 63 this time. So, 64 and 65. And then we'll probably... I'm still going to be doing the podcast while Brooklyn's gone. I'm just going to have guests. Hopefully I can find guests because I really don't want to just sit here and talk to you by myself. Yeah. I feel like I'm still a little awkward for that. It'll still be good.
And we're only doing it for like 3 weeks or so, just for me to kind of recuperate and hang out with the baby and stuff like that. So. Yeah.
But just know there'll probably be single episodes because I'm not going to have like the guest be like, oh, here, you want to do this cool thing on my podcast? Here's your homework.
Yeah.
So, they'll probably be, the next one will be a double, and then it will be singles, and then when Brooklyn comes back, we'll go back to doing doubles.
Just for our FYI, I did not see any last statement, but I did mess up something in my story. The crime was in July.
Oh, okay.
So he was found in November. I just put down the wrong date for it.
Okay, so the crime happened in July, but then he was found in November.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, I probably thought he got away with it.
Ew, I know, right? That's really sad.
Well, it's, like, just long enough to where you can, like, kind of stop thinking about it and stop, like, looking over your shoulder, you know?
I would literally go insane. I could not.
You can't have that guilt. I can't have guilt either. I feel really bad.
I would literally... First, I would never kill someone. Let's establish that.
No, any guilt. Like, any guilt I just can't do.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I feel bad. Like, I ran over a fucking turtle. We talked about this the other day, the animals that we ran over, and we were like, oh my god.
Okay, don't make it sound like we've run over multiple animals.
I have. I have definitely ran over, like, 2 squirrels, a turtle, a skunk, a dog.
No,
the dog was already dead. I want that.
I thought you were kidding about the dog.
No, why would I? Who would joke about that? That's saying.
I don't know, but why are you admitting it on a podcast?
It was already a dead dog. It was already dead.
I do remember you telling me about this.
It was horrible. It was traumatizing, and I think I've hit a possum. Now that I think about it too.
Stop driving. Stop driving.
No, they need to get the hell out of the road. What the hell?
Sometime. There was 2 days in a row this week that on the same exact stretch of road, this squirrel ran out in front of my car. I think he's waiting for my car to jump in front of it.
Because this is it.
Because he did it twice.
Maybe his squirrel wife cheated on him and he just can't do it anymore.
He's like, that's it. Whenever that white car comes around that has that business logo, I'm running in front of it. Well, on that confession, we will be back next week. So tune in. Bye.
Bye.